What's going on, guys? This is Riggs, and thank you so much for tuning in to the very next PUBG Mobile video. It is update time. It is finally here. Update 1.5, which is the mission ignition. Let me tell you guys something. There's every so often there's an update that happens in the game that is just memorable. I mean, we're talking like when Livik showed up. You know, when they dropped Karrakin, when the new Erangel 2.0, when they first brought us TDM, we're talking those kinds of updates, right? This is going to be, not only are there quality of life changes that are literally life-changing in the game, but I mean, we're talking new weapons, so many new features, so much to get through. Before we jump into it though, make sure you guys go ahead and drop a like on the video. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. All right, and before we jump into it, make sure you guys go ahead and get acquainted with all the links down in the description. You'll also notice a hashtag, which is hashtag Soundstripe Partner, that you're going to see in all of the videos here in the month of July. We are channel partners now with Soundstripe. So specifically for those of you content creators out there that are looking for the most expansive and extensive library, not only for music, whether they have, whether they're vocals, whether it's instrumental only, as well as sound effects. Content creators out there, streamers alike, make sure you guys check out the link in the description. You get 15% off for the entire month of July. Use code RIGGS. So big shout out to Soundstripe for sponsoring this video. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Now, we're going to go over the patch notes. If you really want to read, there is a lot coming in this update, you guys, in the 1.5 Mission Ignition update. It is jam-packed. But I will have a link in the description for those of you out there. I'm sure there's a few of you that would like to read this top to bottom, left to right. You can check out the patch notes down below. But what we're going to be covering in this video specifically is the more high key, actual game changing type changes that are going to be coming with this update. So let's go ahead and jump into the first one, which is of course going to be the event, right? Every single update, they're always doing a new event where you can. It's usually always on a wrangle, right? Where you can go ahead and toggle the special event. Like right now, for example, we're in the Traverse, the insectoid mode. Or you can uncheck it and just play regular, classic or wrangle. But Mission Ignition is coming. There are 6 locations that are more like your points of interest that are going to be transformed. They'll be a little bit more futuristic because we have Tesla coming. And that is Pachinki, Georgia Pole, School, Millie, Yaz, and Milta Power are all getting a huge upgrade, a huge facelift, kind of like, going into the future. There are going to be a lot of fun things that you can do, and the whole theme behind it. But again, you can go ahead and check the patch notes if you want to get into kind of like the lure that's coming to a wrangle. There's a little backstory. There is going to be a new weapon. Like I said, it is a 5.56 AR. It's the ASM, hopefully I'm pronouncing this right, but it's the Abakan. We also have a lot of new grips. This is huge, you guys. It's been a while since we've seen grips. I want to say maybe a couple years, give or take, but we do have the Ergonomic Grip, which is going to help with vertical and horizontal recoil control. There's a brand new muzzle. It's called the Muzzle Brake, which will enhance your recoil control even further. So that's going to be very, very interesting to get our hands on that, to go ahead and try that. Especially imagine the Muzzle Brake linked up with the Ergonomic Grip. It's going to be insane. We also have a drum mag that is coming, and this does attach on every single rifle in the game, and it increases the mag capacity, but just to have a nice little balance, it increases mag capacity, but it does take there is a longer reload time on that. Auto parachute is coming into the game, meaning that basically you auto parachute from the plane and you mark where you want to land, and it will auto. Now, I don't know if it's just going to be the parachute mechanic itself, like as in when the parachute pops, or if this is when you actually jump out of the plane. I really hope that is not the case, because there's actually, it takes skill. If they completely nerf jumping out of the plane to where everyone can kind of land at the exact same time. Being able to parachute is something a lot of people even pride themselves on, because it takes a skill. First one to land, you get the gun first, and boom. So auto parachute, we have to see how this mechanic will actually work. Even with the parachute popping, I don't know how I feel about that. I just feel like it's a little bit too much of a nerf where it'll just have too much of an impact on the game because there's actual skill gap, with landing. The next one, this is another interesting one, and I don't know if this is going to be not like the full M4, but like not even a pay to win, but there is the Model Y Tesla that's going to be coming, and I believe this is the Model Y where you're going to be able to purchase it just like we did with the McLaren, and it's going to be self-driving when you're on like one of the main roads, when you're going from point A to point B, from town to town. The car will drive itself. Now, is this boosted? Again, a lot of these mechanics, we're going to have to wait for the update to drop to see how they actually are. But if you can self-drive a car that you can pay money for, to me, that's something that someone that has money can get. This goes beyond cosmetics, right? This actually has an effect on the game, how you drive the car, or in this case, you don't, because it's auto driving. However, possibly to counter that, there is the Tesla Semi that is coming. And this is a world spawn. Okay, so the Tesla Semi is a world spawn that will have the same kind of feature, the same mechanic, where from town to town, at certain points, it'll auto drive itself. So again, we're gonna have to wait and see this one live. Another new weapon that is coming, this is big. This is big. It has to do with the airdrops, and that is the MG3. We're finally getting a new weapon in the airdrop. It's a new LMG, which of course is like machine gun, and it is a 7.62 millimeter, and it's airdrops only. And because it's airdrops, that means it's going to be on all of the maps, okay? All the maps. And we were expecting this one for a while, but the M249 is in fact going to be a world spawn. They are going to, drop down the amount of bullets that you can have in that magazine. And they also have a little bit of damage mitigation on the M249. Because it's a world spawn, they had to nerf it a little bit, which does make sense. But we are getting a brand new weapon, and it is airdrop only. Now, this one is huge. Like I said, you guys, this update is crazy. But there's been a big issue in the game for quite some time, ever since 60 and 90 FPS came out. Depending which weapon you have, for example, the Tommy gun, the M762, as well as others, the Groza, depending on what frame rate you can run your device on, which of course only affects high-end devices. The rate of fire was different depending on the frame rate, but not anymore. But they've basically made it to where, despite your frame rate, all the weapons are now in fact going to have the exact same rate of fire, which is great for the game. So it's going to be a level playing field for everybody, which is awesome. Now, this is a big one that we've been waiting for also years, that is finally coming to the game, and that is windows. So certain buildings on Erangel and Miramar, I'm not sure about the other maps or what will happen in the future, but there is going to be glass windows that will be able to shatter when you're going in, going out, shooting at them. So yeah, finally, again, another just a little, the maps, just kind of getting like a little update, a little upgrade. This is another very interesting one, but that is third-person perspective camera settings. You'll now be able to adjust the field of view, but you will be able to adjust the field of view. You'll actually be able to see more on your screen. That is huge in this game, and it can also make phones, possibly even give something like iPads, for example, a run for their money. But we do have throwable meds. So whether you're going to be trolling, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of trolling with this. This is another huge one. There's huge changes coming. I mean, you want to talk about content, not for days, content for weeks coming. But there's a customized firearm settings. So customize, and again, huge quality of life, right? But you can customize attachments for each weapon, and we're talking about auto pickups. Let's say on your M4, you really like the thumb grip, and you like the thumb grip, you like running that with a suppressor. You can make it to where you'll auto pick up those when you run over them. Because as of right now, the attachment just picks up the very first one that you run over. One thing that's even bigger that has to do with sensitivities. This is like mind blown right here. You're going to be able to configure the sensitivity for every single firearm in the game. As of right now, when we're doing our sensitivities, we're doing them based on scopes, right? However, the way your sensitivity, say if you have a 4X and you're spraying a 4X on a DP versus spraying a 4X on an M4, for example, the sensitivity might be different because the recoils are totally different, right? Now we're going to be able to do it for each individual firearm. I mean, I can't even imagine what this is even going to look like on the interface. Another big change, and this is also huge. So I think I've said that 50 times already in this video, but we have a huge change coming to the Royal Passes. Right now, the Royal Pass runs, about 2 months, right? Levels 1 through 100, not anymore. It's going to be RP M1, which is month 1, and then RP M2, or month 2. And for the basic, it's going to be 360 UC. For the elite, it'll be 960 UC, and there's going to be a mythic at level 50. There's not going to be a level 100 anymore. So we're going to see more content, every single month. The month passes, or the world passes are going to go month to month rather than as opposed to like an 8-week cycle that we have right now. There's also going to be this one's also huge that we cover on the channel, which has to do with hacking. They're going to be, of course, ramping up their hacking or their hack detection or their cheating detection systems even more. Grass removal, no recoil cheats, X-ray vision cheats, speed hacks, so on and so forth. And there are going to be improvements as well as rewards for the video review, as well as some other changes. And another big one, which is kind of, just how they made changes to the Royal Pass. It's not going to be like season 20, season 21, season 22, season 99. Seasons are now going to be called cycles, and a cycle will make up several seasons. They don't say how many, but right now, like this, with this update, it's cycle or season 1, cycle 1. So yeah, and again, just tons of changes. Again, if you guys want to read the patch notes, you feel more than free to check out the link down in the description. There's tons and tons in there. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This, like I said, this was a mouthful. This was the update we have been waiting for. Huge changes, huge quality of life changes coming to the game. New weapons. Very exciting time in PUBG Mobile. Before we wrap up the video, though, again, make sure you guys get acquainted with all the links down in the description. But until the very next video, this has been Riggs from Riggs Gaming.